Welcome students, and in this class we are going to again come back to the linear equations, right? So we are going to talk about equation which will look like this: x prime of t equals to capital A of xt. A is a n cross n constant coefficient matrix, okay? Constant coefficient matrix. What we need to do is this. See, now given an initial condition, we know, so we know this thing, right? X0 equals to, let's say, e power x0 equals to x naught, let's say, and we know that there exists a unique solution which is given by, so there exists a unique solution given by xt equals to e power at times x naught, right? That is given to us, and we know what all of this means. Now the point is this. See, the main idea of studying this is a linear equation, right? So if you want to break it up, let's say if you want let A be a 2 cross 2 matrix, so in this lecture we are only going to talk about 2 cross 2, 2 cross 2 matrix. 2 cross 2 matrix. See what happens. How does one look like? It looks like this: x1 prime of t equals to a11 x1 of t plus a12. You don't have to write x1 or t, x2 of t, but I'm just writing it for parity. X prime to x2 prime of t equals to a21 x1 of t plus a22 x2 of t. Clear? So if you break one up, it will look like this. Okay, so this is 2. Right. Now see what we want to do is this. Our ultimate aim is to study a nonlinear equation. So what is our aim? Aim is to study the behavior of the solutions to the nonlinear equation. Okay, nonlinear equation. So what do I mean by nonlinear system of equation? So essentially, let's say I have a system, I have an equation like this, which is given by x prime of t, which is, let's say, f of t, x1 of t, x2 of t. Here, and x2 of t is, let's say, this is, let's say, f1, f2 of t, x1 of t, x2 of t. I'm just for now I'm just writing a 2 cross 2 system. I mean, you can just do it for n cross n system also, right? So this is our m. Let's say that's your 3. Yeah? See, in the next few classes we will see that actually there are something called the equilibrium points, and near equilibrium points we can actually, I mean, given some conditions of course, but somehow this 3 will behave. Yes, we will explain what we mean by all these behaves, and all this has to be made mathematically consistent. So 3 somehow, for now, just remember this thing, we will actually look at it. There are some special points of 3 which are called equilibrium points, and near equilibrium points what we will see is 3 behaves like 2. You understand? For some a1 aij's. Okay, so those will see what we mean by behaves and all. But so the thing is, you see, 3 given initial condition, we know that there is a unique solution, right? That is by a Picard's theorem, which we proved in the last class. So there are solutions that I know, but the thing is, solving this 3, it's extremely difficult. You understand? In most of the cases, it is actually impossible to explicitly solve it. You do understand? Picard's theorem may give us, see, if f1 and f2 are sufficiently nice, I mean, if it satisfies the Picard's theorem conditions, of course it will give us the solution. It will say that there exists a solution, but it won't say that what the solution looks like, right? Okay, so that is our aim. But the thing is, since it is not possible to explicitly solve the problems all the time, what we can do is just look at look at some other problem which actually behaves like this problem in a small neighborhood. That is what we are going to do. Okay. Now, so for that, what we are going to do is we are going to sketch the solution. So in this class, what we are going to do is we are going to learn how to sketch the solutions of 2. Okay. There are many different cases. I am going to cover 3 cases. Okay. Right. So the first case. So let's say you have see, there are 2 ways of doing it. The first way is I can just do the general one, okay, but I feel that doing some examples will be much nicer, okay, for this thing. So let's start with an example. So let's say this is the problem which we have in our hand. Okay, so essentially you can think of it like this. You have a problem 3 near a equilibrium point. You have somehow reduced it to a linear problem which will look like this. Okay, and now you want to study this linear problem. Okay, so x1 prime is minus x1 plus 3x2 and x2 prime is minus 4x2. Okay, let's just start with this thing. Okay, now I am quite confident all of you guys know how to deal with this problem. First of all, what we are going to do is we are going to look at the eigenvalue, and so this cannot be done in any other way. Okay, we have to know how to the eigenvalue vector method of solving this problem. Okay, so first things first, let's look at the eigenvalue. So what is our matrix A? A is given by minus 1, 3, and this is 0, minus 4. Clear? A is this matrix. Okay, and the eigenvalues of A, what are the eigenvalues of A? Of course, you see, there is a very, easy way of calculating the eigenvalues. Okay, and the once you get the eigenvalue, you can get the eigenvectors. Okay, so let me just do it. For a general problem, let me just do it, and then it will be fine. See, if A is given by this, A, B, C, and D, right? Let's say A is given by this. So if I am just looking for an eigenvalue, so basically I am looking for A minus lambda I. This is 0, right? Okay, I am looking for the lambda such that this happens. So essentially what I have is A minus lambda, B, C, D minus lambda. This is going to be 0. Okay, so that will give me A minus lambda, D minus lambda minus BC is going to be 0. Okay, so if I break it up, it is lambda square. Yeah, so basically the polynomial, the characteristic polynomial. Let me just write it down. So minus A plus D times lambda plus minus lambda D minus AD. So that is what? Plus AD minus BC is 0. Yeah. So here how can we write it? I can write it as lambda square minus A plus D. A plus D is the trace of A, right? So this is the trace of A times lambda plus AD minus BC is the determinant of A is equals to 0, right? So of course this here it is working because we are talking about a 2x2 system. Okay, so in a 2x2, so for now I am just looking for planar system. Okay, so again let me clarify here, we are only going to look for a planar system here. Okay, planar system. So planar systems, what I mean by planar systems is a 2x2 system. Okay, so in a plane, okay, x1, x2. Right, for planar system we can do this. Yeah, so see, eigenvalues of A, so basically if you want to calculate, you just put it in this formula and you are done, right? Okay, so put it in the formula and solve the quadratic. We are exactly doing that, but we will use this thing also later. I will show you how to work with it. There is something called a trace determinant diagram. Okay, how to deal with that. So anyway, so you can use this characteristic polynomial to find the eigenvalues of A, and which I am not calculating, and since this is 0, you guys already understand that the eigenvalue is going to be minus 4 and minus 1. Okay, now what are the eigenvectors and the corresponding eigenvectors? So we are in luck here. Why? Because we have two distinct eigenvalues. So we have two linearly, we can get two linearly independent eigenvectors, right? Corresponding eigenvectors are, so you can have a different eigenvector. For me, I am just choosing it like this. Okay, so for lambda equals to minus 1, I am going to choose it to be 1, 0. Okay, or let's say, how do I write? V1 equals to 1, 0, and V2 is something, maybe minus 1, 1. Okay, it doesn't matter, 1 minus 1 also you can write. So essentially I hope all of you guys can calculate this thing. If you so the best idea to do this is, what I can suggest is, please don't take it for granted. Okay, calculate the whole thing and see that if you can so of course you can find a different eigenvectors, that's not a problem, but these are the most simple ones, so I'm just writing it down. Okay, now okay, so what is the general solution for this? So the general solution of, let's say that's your 4, okay, 1 4 of 4 is x of t, which is given by x1 of t, x2 of t, okay. That is first of all the constant c1, yes, times e power minus t, okay, 1 0 e power minus t, clear, plus c2 times minus 1 1, okay, c2 times v2 e power minus 4t, e power minus 4t, okay. So that's your first general solution which you are going to get, yeah. Sorry, not first general solution, this is the general solution, where c1 and c2 are, where c1 and c2 is in R. I hope this is clear. Okay, now you see I need to, the thing is this, so this is a general solution, it means it contains all possible solutions of 4. Now if you give me an initial data, okay, whatever it is, x1 x2 is taking, let's say 1 2 or something, then I can put that initial data here and I can find what is the exact c1 and c2, because I know that this equation with the initial data admits a unique solution for all t via Picard's theorem, right? So here I just want to find out what is, I mean in that case I can just find out c1 c2, but if this is not given, then I mean if the initial condition, no initial condition is given, then we have a full family of curves, right? So what sort of equation is it? This you have to understand. So this is a pair of, if you remember, see, depends on t, x1 depends on this t, x2 depends on this. So this is a pair of parametric equations, huh? I hope you guys know this, what are parametric, so basically it depends on the parameter t. Both x1 and x2 depends on the parameter t. Okay. So this is a pair of parametric equations, yeah. And now what we need to do is I want to, so now our aim is this. We want to okay, sketch. We want to sketch the curves. We want to sketch the curves in x1 x2 plane, okay. This plane is called the phase plane, so this plane is called the phase plane. I hope this is clear. What I want to do is this, see, there is x1 and there is x2 which is given by two parametric equations, clear. Now what I want to do is I want to sketch those curves in x1 x2 plane, not in any t plane. There is no t is just a parameter, right? T varies between r, so t is in r, clear. So t is varying between minus infinity to plus infinity, that's all, okay. I need to know how to sketch the curve, that's what we are going to do. And this x1 x2 plane, this we will call it as a phase plane, okay. So let's now look at how to do that. So first of all, again let me write it, otherwise I will mess it up. So x of t equals to c1 times 1 0 e power minus t plus c2 times minus 1 0 1 no minus 1 1 e power minus 4t, okay. So this problem is given to us, I need to sketch this. So see, the one thing I can of course do is I can choose some c1 c2s and I can sketch start, okay. Let me first of all draw some lines here, okay. This is x1 and this is x2, okay. Now you see, how do you start sketching this? This is what we need to understand. How do you start sketching this particular thing? So first thing first, of course look for, I mean you can of course understand, right, what is the most simplest solutions which you can get. Of course you can get it for c equals to plus minus 1 and c2 equals to 0, okay. And likewise you can get other solutions as c1 equals to 0 and c2 equals to plus minus 1, yeah. This is just like what we do in our general first order or second order, just equation, right? This is how you find easy solutions, yes. So the first solution, if you see, what is the first solution? The first solution is, so if you take c2 equals to 0, what does it look like? X of t, c1 equals to 1, let's say, yeah, it is 1 0 times e power minus t. Yeah, this t is varying in r, so please understand t is varying in r, and the first solution, let's say x of t is given by 1 0. This is a valid solution of this problem, right? E power minus t. Clear? For this is for corresponding to C1 equals to 1 and C2 equals to 0. Yeah, let's just plot that. So first thing first, what is 1 0? This vector. See, this part is coming from the eigenvector part, and this is coming from the eigenvalue. Okay, this is from the eigenvector, this is from the eigenvalue part. So see, the eigenvector part, what it does is actually gives you the direction in which the solution moves. You understand? See, this 1 0, that gives you the direction. So what is 1 0? Here 1 0. 1 0 here. Okay, so you see now e power minus t, see what the eigenvalue part, okay, the part of the solution which you are going from, which you are getting from the eigenvalue, what it does is actually it gives you the direction in which the solution moves. Clear? So as t, so the first thing is this, as t equals to 0, of course it is at 1 0. Okay, at t, now you see, as t goes from 0 to infinity, when it moves towards infinity, it is going towards e power minus infinity, which is around, it goes towards 0, right? So this solution moves towards 0. I hope this is clear. Okay, I hope this is clear. This moves towards 0. Okay, so the one solution is on the x1 plane. Okay, and corresponding again also x of t, you can get another solution x of t, which is 1 0 e power minus t. Why? This is for c1 equals to minus 1 and c2 equals to 0. So which will be just the mirrored image on the other way, or the other side. Okay, maybe I can use some different colors. It will be better that way. So okay, so this is this and this is this. Okay, so both way, see, this solution is moving from minus infinity, it is coming from infinity. Okay, so x of t, it is coming from infinity and it is moving towards 0. Okay, for c1, so this is for c1 equals to 1 and c2 equals to 0. Okay, this thing, so it is coming from infinity, and going towards 0. Okay, and it is reaching here. Not exactly it is reaching here, but you understand, it is approaching that point. Origin, it never reaches that point, but it's approaching that point. Okay, again in the similar way, if c1 equals to minus 1 and c2 equals to 0, okay, it starts from here. It does not start from anywhere, it is going. Okay, and this is minus 1 0. Okay, it will take minus 1 0 somewhere, minus 1 0 at t equals to 0, and after that at t becomes more bigger and bigger, it slows down considerably. Okay, and after that it approaches towards origin, but it will never touch the origin. Clear? Okay, so that's your two solutions, one solution coming from here, one solution coming from there. Okay, let's look at the other solutions. Okay, so let's look at the other solutions. See, now also, now again if c1 is 0 and c2 is plus minus 1, so again x of t is, c1 is 0, so this part is not there, c2 is plus minus 1, so it is minus 1 1 e power minus 4t. So this is c1 is 0, c2 is plus 1 here, and also x of t is it is minus 1 1 e power minus 4t. Okay, this is for c1 is 0, c2 is minus 1. I hope this is clear. Now I need to calculate, I need to plot this thing. So let us plot it in a different color. Maybe see, this thing I am plotting it in okay, this one I am plotting it in this color, and maybe I don't know, some other colors, maybe like this color. This color is better, okay, so okay, this color is not very visible. 1 second, let me just maybe I can use the pink one. Pink is fine. Maybe I can use this one, okay. So this I am going to use with the e power minus 40. Okay, so you see, first thing first, minus 1 1, minus 1 1 over here, okay, somewhere. So now you see minus 1 1 is here, so the vector here you can just draw it, right? So the direction of the solution is this, and the thing is, as t goes to, you see, as t moves towards infinity, the same thing is happening. E power minus 40, that goes towards the origin, right? So it is moving in this direction. So t equals to 0 here, minus infinity is coming somewhere from here, right? It is coming from somewhere from here. So this is corresponding to C1 equals to 0, C2 equals to plus 1. I hope this is clear. Okay, so it is coming from, as t tends to infinity, from minus infinity. From minus infinity it is coming from here, and when it reaches t equals to 0, it is here, and as t goes towards infinity, it goes towards origin, right? Because minus 40. See, please remember this thing here. One thing is, while you sketch these solutions, the arrows will always point towards the, how do I put it, point towards the origin. Clear? The arrows will always point towards the origin. Okay, sorry, what am I saying? It won't point towards the origin. What I'm trying to say is, the arrows, the face of the arrow, you will draw it as t tends to infinity. You understand? So as t moves, so basically t is moving forward, the arrow is pointing in that direction, not origin. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so towards this, in this case it is going towards origin. Okay, so as t tends to infinity. So this is C1 equals to 0, C2 equals to minus 1, and correspondingly you have the mirror image of this. C1 equals to 0, C2 equals to minus 1, and you do realize that that will be in the other direction. And again the same thing, e power minus 40 is there. So that will actually say that the thing is moving towards, it is again moving towards the origin, right? Clear? Okay, now, so we have all this. Now the question is this. Generally speaking, so these are the 4 solutions we know. Okay, we saw that the 4 solutions are all moving towards the origin. Okay, what happens when C1 and C2 are not, they are both non-zero? You understand? So if maybe I can put it in our original color. So when C1 not equals to 0 and C2 not equals to 0, okay, when both C1 and C2 is non-zero, then what do you do? Okay, in that case, let's see, we'll see that what happens as t go from at t equals to infinity, at t equals to minus infinity. We'll look at that. Okay, so x of t equals to, so maybe I can do it in the next page, it will be better. So x of t is C1 times 1 0 e power minus t plus C2 times minus 1 1 e power minus 40. Okay, so as t tends to infinity, as t tends to infinity, let's check what happens. See, when t is extremely big, let's say 1000, 1 million something, yeah. So if t is very big, which of these two terms, this term and this term, there are 2 terms, right? Which of these 2 terms do you think dominates? So basically, as t tends to infinity, e power minus 40 is much smaller than e power minus t. So basically, this term dominates. Okay, so this 1 0, this vector e power minus t, this dominates. I hope this is fine. As t tends to infinity, this dominates. Okay, also t tends to minus infinity. Of course, t tends to minus infinity, so basically let's say t equals to minus 100. Okay, that case what happens? If it is minus 100, so it is e power 400, and this is only e power 100. So in that case, e power 400 is much bigger, right? Okay, extremely big. So x of t, in that case, this vector, this solution e power minus 40, this dominates. Okay, what I meant by this, see, what I am meaning by this is, as t is extremely big, this is one vector, right? So let's say t is going towards infinity, very very big. So this is the vector, let's say 1 0, e power minus t, 1 0 this vector, and the direction of the vector basically, and this vector is minus 1 1, okay, e power minus 40, and this is e power minus t. Okay, so something like this, yeah. For as t goes to infinity, let's say t equals to a billion something, 1 billion, for this is for t equals to 1 billion. Let's say this is one vector and that is one another vector. Now you see, I mean, you do realize that there will be a huge difference between e power minus t and e power minus 40, right? And the sum of those two, because we are doing the sum of those two, will be very near to this, right? It will be very near to this. Not, I mean, as big as this, but I mean something like this. No, it will be very big. I mean, near to. So basically, it will, as t moves towards infinity, this term dominates. So basically, the I mean, the vector will somehow be kind of, you can think of it as a parallel. Of course, it's not exactly the vector, but it will be parallel to this vector, right? Yeah, because this will be very big and that's very small. Okay. Okay, and a similar thing happens when t equals to minus infinity also. I mean, then this particular thing dominates and the other one is dormant. Clear? Okay, so I need to draw this thing. How do I draw it? So basically, as t tends to infinity, e power minus t dominates. Okay, so basically this I don't know what is this color, something, let me call it red. It's not exactly red, I forgot the name of the color, but anyways, this color, maroon probably, yeah. Okay, so so basically what I'm trying to say is this. See, as t tends to infinity, the maroon dominates, this dominates, right? And as t tends to minus infinity, e power minus 40 dominates. So basically, let me draw the, let me take a different, let me take a, this is better. Okay, now the other thing, t tends to minus infinity, the solutions are parallel to, see, the solutions are parallel to e power minus 40, right? So they are parallel, minus infinity, they are parallel. And as t goes towards infinity, what is happening? It is becoming parallel to this line, right? 1 0. So you see, this is coming like this, and it will do this. I hope this is clear. T tends to infinity, it is basically parallel to this. Okay, and oh god, one second, sorry about it. Oh, one second, let me, okay, yes. So let me, I hope this is clear. I mean, see, this is not a very precise thing to do. Okay, it's just an approximation. It will just give you an idea of what's going on. That's all. Okay, so something like this. Again, I mean, for the another this thing also, something like this will happen. Okay, this won't work. So let me, I'm sorry about it. I'm drawing it here. That is why it is becoming so difficult actually. Oh god. Oh, one second. This is not a line. I'm sorry. There are a lot of one second. So let me draw. This is our original this thing. Now the combination lines I'm using this thing. So the combination lines I'm using. Let me draw the other one. Okay, and like this. Okay, so the solutions will look like this. So basically, as t tends to minus infinity, it will be parallel, and then it moves on. I mean, it may not look exactly like this, you do realize. Okay, but the thing is an approximate thing, and as t tends towards infinity, it will actually approach this 1 0 e power minus t, this solution. Clear? Okay, now of course for the other values, the exact opposite will happen here. Okay, I hope this will be fine. Okay, this will be fine. And similarly, for the other solutions, the mirror images will follow. Okay, so this you guys can actually do it from just you can just fill it up. It's not a problem. You don't have to calculate everything. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Just fill it up. Why we can fill it up? That's very important. Why we can do this thing? See, here the first, this is the equation. This is the equation, and this is x prime equals to a of x, right? And a is a constant coefficient matrix. So a is a C1. C infinity actually. Yeah. So basically this is a very smooth system. So essentially, if you are looking for solutions, any solution of this system is an infinity differentiable solution, right? So if that happens, then let's say if you are drawing this thing, see C1 and C2 is varying in R, right? You realize that. So basically when C1 is changed a little bit, so C1 equals to 0, C2 equals to plus 1. Let's say C1 I just perturb it a little bit, 0.00001, and C2 is 1. So the solution will be very near to this thing, right? Very near to this. This is coming from the dependence on initial data kind of thing. Not exactly, but you do realize that they are continuous. The solution moves continuously as C1 and C2 moves continuously, right? So when you change C1 and C2 a little bit, what is happening? The solutions will actually follow each other. They will be very close to each other. Okay, so that this is the idea. Okay, now if you write all these C1, C2 plus minus everything, then that is going to fill up the whole R2 plane. Okay, and it will look like this. Okay, now the important part is here. You see, okay, what are the arrows here? Of course, these arrows here, they are pointing here on this side. Okay, so everything is pointing. Everything will be like this. Okay, so this you guys can check. Now, what is happening here is this. See, all the solutions, okay, from t equals to minus infinity, when it's coming towards t equals to infinity, they are all converging to this point, origin. Okay, so this sort of thing. So basically, it's kind of it's a sync kind of thing. Everything is coming in. Okay, so this side of point is called a nodal sync. I hope this is clear. Okay, this kind of trajectories are called a nodal sync. Okay, so everything syncs in to a point. Okay, clear. There is something called a nodal source also. In that case, everything will move out of this origin. Okay, of course, if you just change e power minus t and e power 4 minus 40 to e power t, e power minus 40 with the same vectors, you understand what I'm saying? Just change e power minus t to e power t, e power minus, for a different system that will happen, but you do realize what I'm trying to say. So let's say for some system, the solution is C110 e power t plus C2 minus 1 e power 4t. Okay, let's say for some system that is happening. So then the phase diagram, the phase portrait is exactly the same thing, but the arrows will be pointed in a different direction. Clear? Because at that case you do realize that this will actually be reversed. The roles will be reversed, right? The roles will be reversed. So this is what I am trying to say here. In that case, what will happen is something like this, no? The solutions will look like this. So it will all go outside. You understand? It will all go outside. Okay. It will look like. From this point, all the solutions are originating. So basically, in that case, we will call it a nodal source. I hope this is clear. Okay, nodal source. Okay, so this is just the first part of I hope this is very clear to you. Okay, this is just the first part of this. This is the case where you have two distinct. So please remember, the phase portrait we are doing in this course is just for the planar systems. We are not doing it for a higher dimensional system. Of course, we can do something over higher dimensional system, but for now it's just a planar system. And what we are doing is what we did in this part is just two distinct eigenvalues, and you have corresponding linearly independent eigenvectors and how to deal with this thing. So you have two conditions. One is a nodal source, it can happen, or you have a nodal sink, that can also happen. Okay. In the next few classes, we are going to look at all the other different criteria. Okay. So with this we are going to end this video.